Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bobble Pod. On this episode, we're going to do a self-analysis. I gave some digital marketing trends back in January 2023, and now we're coming up to the end of the year. We're going to do a 2023 digital trends analysis. Was I bang on the money? It's a bit like football when you do your start of the season predictions of where everyone's going to finish in the table, and then at the end of the day, or at the end of the season, you do an analysis. So that's what we're going to go through today. But as always, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hello YouTube. Don't forget to click on the bell notification, subscribe. Our episodes come out every Tuesday, unless Callum's off and we have to fill in and have a gap. He's laughing already.
Look, it was one time.
You know the number of complaints I've had from our listeners, like, oh, you missed an episode that week. Oh. None of this is true, by the way, but we just want trying to make Callum feel bad for making us miss a week.
I try my best. I take vitamin C, I take vitamin D. I look after myself, so it's just one time.
Pretty sure there's more letters of the alphabet with vitamins than just B and C and D.
They're the good ones, though.
Yeah, they're the good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you some new multivitamins before the end of the year, so we don't miss anything next year.
Good.
But back on topic. So, if you don't recall, I had 8 digital marketing trends for 2023, and they were AI and ChatGPT. Video in terms of live video marketing, cookie-free tracking, augmented reality in terms of shopping, Gen Z marketing, influencer marketing, increased use of TikTok for business, and voice search. So we're going to go through each one of them and see how well I did in terms of how well are these things trending right now throughout the year. So I think I was bang on the money with AI and ChatGPT. So I'm going to give myself a tick on the first box. I've even been doing a talk at marketing showcases. I started doing a talk about why you're not ranking position 1 on Google, which attracted a lot of people. Then what I found at the start of the year was a lot of the questions that were being asked of me is how does AI work with, SEO? So we moved over, mid-year to a talk about supercharging your SEO with AI tools, which has gone down extremely well. I've been I'm grateful enough that people have been tagging me on LinkedIn. It's been one of the highlight talks of the marketing showcase for the last few showcases that we've done this year. ChatGPT's really come into the forefront. There's been more integration with OpenAI into Microsoft Teams and Microsoft in general. Overall, ChatGPT's use has improved. However, there have been other sticking points. So most people might not be aware, Brighton SEO, even Google came out and said that the helpful content update didn't really say how helpful it was going to be. Could not even distinguish, they said that if all the other elements of SEO are in place, like technical, SERP, schema, etc., AI written content could still outrank, human written content, which I think they're shooting themselves in the foot with. But it kind of shows that how evolved AI has been used. We're using a number of new AI tools. If you want to learn about or hear that video about supercharge your SEO with AI tools, then I recommend you head over to our YouTube page. And actually, that's what it's titled, and listen to that video. It's about 30 minutes. We did it at Leeds Digital Festival in September, and it's been a great hit since then. It'll kind of give you an idea of the different AI tools out there. There's 120 different AI tools that you can use right now. And in the next 3 to 5 years, we predict the market's going to become very saturated. So bang on with that trend. ChatGPT is something I highlighted, but it's been up and down. A lot of people are using it in form of gamification, in the sense that people are just expecting that they can type into ChatGPT, write me a 1,000 keyword blog on XYZ. No, you've got to give it more detail and instructions. There are limitations to ChatGPT writing your content for you. Use it for the foundation building blocks of what you're doing. Let it help you write headlines and descriptions, or meta titles and descriptions, whatever it is, but don't let it do the whole work for you. Stop cheating, stop being lazy. Remember, it's a machine learning. The more information you give it, the better response you get out of it, and don't rely on it just to write your content. In my opinion, I think you have to sense check everything you're doing. So I think I hit the money on AI and ChatGPT. We've actually got Josh with us because the second trend I said we talked about was video and video campaigns, short video campaigns, live video. Josh, don't know if you want to get on mic. You're our videographer. How have you seen the world of video marketing so far this year?
Personally, I don't think it's really changed that much. I think TikToks and short forms definitely taken over. I don't really see many long video, sort of documentary style things online anymore.
It's gone to short form video content.
I'd say everything's definitely gone short form because people just don't have the attention span anymore.
Yeah.
So you've instantly got to catch people with something to pull them in.
Yeah, I think that was I'd say the elephant in the room with video is a lot of businesses, and I discussed this if you go back and listen to my original top 8 digital marketing trends for 2023 is we talked about, video, its use of video. People see it as long form content. It's not. Look at why Mr. Beast does quite well. He generates so much money and revenue and views and listens because his videos are about 20 minutes and 25 minutes, but they're very engaging. He's creating short films essentially that are 20, 25 minute longs that take people on an entertaining, fun journey in a creative way. And people are likely to give that. It's a big commitment now to watch a 45-minute, 10-season, 10 episodes a season series because it takes time. People want content quicker. They want to consume a lot more content. We're stuck to our mobile phones. TikTok's on the rise, in terms of short form content. We're kind of used to that.
I think one of the main changes, which has helped because of AI, is having the subtitles on every single video. Because there's a lot of people that just do not have audio when they're scrolling through. So those subtitles are just absolutely necessary. And they are literally on every single video going now.
Yeah, I agree. I think subtitles are key. Even if you go on our YouTube shorts and on our social media, you'll see that we've got the subtitles on our videos because, platforms like LinkedIn, when you're doing promoted ads, the videos are muted. So you got to have it, the subtitles in place. It's becoming a lot more accessible for B2B business. So I'm going to give myself another tick. Video isn't really a trend to kind of predict. It is that the type of videos that are going to come through. And I talked about how it's going to be more shorter form, 30-second videos that are going to be key, using how B2B businesses are going to be really start adapting to more video content because we were pushing it out to our B2B clients to use more video content. So I think I'm 2 for 2 so far. What do you think, Colin?
I would say yes, in terms of certainly shorter video content. I've noticed I'm more wanting shorter than longer, but I still quite enjoy a longer form content when I've got, that expendable time really.
Yeah, the next one, it's kind of 50-50 because I talked about cookie-free tracking. Now, this question has come up to me a few times throughout the year in terms of what Google's going to do. Now, Google announced that they were going to stop, third-party cookie tracking this year. That hasn't really been the case. I haven't really seen a lot about the cookie-free tracking element. We need platforms like Facebook and Google to kind of come out and tell us what the next form of that is. So I think it was good to get it on people's minds, but I think a lot more of that will come through, and you'll see that as one of my trends that I move on to next year in terms of how it's going to adapt and what it could potentially look like as we've had more research and insight from platforms and partners like Google and Facebook and LinkedIn, etc., that use all these cookie data. We need to see what really comes from that. What is the scope and what is the plan? People are still in the dark. I'll be honest with you, I feel like I'm in the dark with the cookie-free tracking. What we do know is that you're going to have to focus more on, understanding who your audience really is, more contextual-based targeting, interest-based targeting. So relying on more first-party data and collecting first-party data, but then you've got to be GDPR secure. You've got to consider all the other elements around that. So cookie-free tracking, I'm going to not give myself a point for that one. I'm going to give myself credit for bringing it to the forefront, but I feel like it didn't really take off the way I expected it this year. I thought it was a bit too soon, but I do expect that to be, and that will be on my trends for next year as a little bit of a sneak peek for when I do my digital trends in January. So what were we, 2 out of 3? We've got 8. So augmented reality shopping, VR. Now, I think I was kind of on the money in terms of this one because we saw even Apple launch their virtual reality. What are they calling it? What's the name for it? Apple's like
I've forgotten what not iGoggle. That would be
iGoggle would be hilarious. iGoggle would be hilarious. Right, so you can see that we pay attention, but not 100% attention what Apple's doing. It was, I don't know, it's like Oculus, isn't it? But it's do a quick Google. Vision Pro, that's it. Yeah, we got there in the end. That's it. That's research at the tip of your button. So I think I was on the money with that one. I think that's a bit like the cookie one. Like I kind of called it a bit too soon in the sense that, more people are using augmented reality. The cost of Vision Pro, was it $3,000?
It's probably up there, but probably 2 or 3 grand.
The concept of it was great. Josh?
Just on the augmented reality, I literally last week, I think I was on Amazon looking at a portable speaker. And when you look at someone and you don't really know the actual size of it, I was looking through the description on it and there was an augmented reality section where you could actually put the speaker in your room to then match it up against the size of other things.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, this could be quite good. And then I saw the size of it and I was like, yeah, this is not what I'm looking for at all. Yeah. So that actually was a really good help.
That system and that service has been around for a while. That's not new. But I think as technology improves, people get better, connection with their Wi-Fi, with their, 4G, 5G data connectivity, even 3G at some times. I think that will come to the forefront, and that's going to be key because that's augmented reality on your phone as well. So basically, you saw it on your phone, and then you went into camera mode on your phone. And then from camera mode, you were able to look around your room and then resize it and place it there. It's one of those elements that you've got to consider. But I think we'll see a lot more augmented reality shopping next year. And you can see that's where the market's kind of going, because when Apple are launching Vision Pro, and it was almost like a iPhone kind of debut launch kind of thing for them, or like an iPad launch. I'm like, oh, they've got an iPad. How well it does, I don't know. How well the consumer will do it, I think not until it's very expensive, and it's still a new tech. So again, like cookie free, I called it. Didn't really materialize throughout the year. I called augmented reality shopping taking a forefront this year. Probably too soon. Again, probably one I'll put on my list next year in terms of where I think that's going, especially with Vision Pro coming out. So we'll call it 2 out of 4. Or maybe I give myself half points for them once then. So I'll call it 3 out of 4 then, really. I'm being generous to myself here. It's hard to self-analyze when you're in my position. You want to give yourself the best points possible. So the next one was targeting Gen Z in your marketing. A very, very difficult generation to target, let's be honest with you. Don't know if they're coming or going. But when we mean Gen Z, we're talking about the digital generation, the people born between 1996 and 2010. I mean, wow, that is bit of a escape. Makes me feel really, really old. But that has become a lot more because they are the adapters and becoming the early adopters of new products, new tech. What we're trying to see is businesses that, and charities that were targeting more older audiences that had the money and now trying to get the younger audiences like the Gen Zs more involved. That's where I've seen target Gen Z become a lot more important, is where businesses are struggling with a certain demographic that's a lot more older, and how do they revolutionize their brand and reposition their brand to a younger generation and start bringing them into the forefront without alienating the existing customer base. You've got to be very, very careful with that. I think TikTok's played a key role into that as a platform. I think more video-based content. I think influencer marketing, which is what was the next trend, has played a key role into that. Businesses are really trying to understand the mindset of Gen Z. And I think it's not easy because Gen Z, like I said, don't know if they're coming or they're going. I feel like their social, political views change very, very quickly. I don't think they're set as a this is what Gen Z is. It's a very fluid generation in the sense that it's very flowing, ever changing, can go in any directions in which it feels. So it has its challenges. There are platforms and, creative formats you can use to target them, but maybe we'll do a podcast about a case study of how to target Gen Z, I think, to kind of showcase that one. So I'm going to give myself a tick on that one because they've come to the forefront this year. Influencer marketing, I kind of made a prediction a couple of years ago saying influencer marketing was going to die. I stand by some of my comments to a degree, but I think with platforms like TikTok and YouTube, it's seen a little bit more of a resurgence. I think digital marketers have kind of cracked it this year with influencer marketing. I think if you're using it as a brand perspective and getting the right influencers in place, because everybody wants to be an influencer. I'm going to be transparent with you. Everybody thinks they can be an influencer. Someone will do a home cooking video and it'll get like 20, 30,000 views and like, ooh, I can turn this into money in a full-time thing. No, you can't. Yeah, that's not good. That doesn't have legs. Real influencers have focused into a niche of personal brand that then go on to do great things. You have to consider people like KSI and Sidemen and, Logan Paul, Joe Rogan to Mr. Beast and the crew. They're the original influencers that took their brands on a huge journey and now monetize those brands. Mr. Beast has got his burgers. Sidemen have got their wings. Josh, you've got something that you want to jump in with.
One thing I've noticed with influencer marketing lately is, especially on YouTube, before when a company would just pay someone to just add a bit of an advert into their video, it's not like that anymore because everyone skipped it. So the actual advert is spoken to and advertised by the people and just sort of woven into the video. Yeah, which has been a massive change.
Yeah, I think that role of influencer marketing has really adapted this year because influencers are being now more like product ambassadors. Like, this is how I use my product. I think the smartest one that I've seen on TikTok is how, people don't realize what certain products do. And they've got people that someone, there's an influencer, I forget the name, and she reviews products. And she's like, right, saw it, bought it, tested it. And she goes through it, and then her shock is like, oh my God, this product is amazing. I didn't realize it, and gives it a proper score. Like, nope, really does what it says. It's not a gimmick. It's not a fake product. And she puts her link in as an affiliate, and then she gets a commission on all the sales. So people are making £10,000 from that doing product reviews. So if you're an e-commerce brand, if you pick the right influencers, and that's what it comes down to. Influencer marketing has really come to its forefront. Research, what I said at the start of the year was that that the trend is going to grow by 23.4% in 2023 and a further 15.9% in 2024. And you got to thank agencies really in terms of working with influencers and coming up with creative ideas in terms of how do we not just get someone to plug a product in their video, how do we get them to experience the video and become brand ambassadors? So I think that's been good. Right, so I say we'll give ourselves a tick for that. Increased use of TikTok for business. So that one, I mean, we've been doing a lot more TikTok or videos, content, especially for short podcast snippets, educational. What I've really started seeing, I started to love to see on TikTok, and maybe it's just my algorithm because of what I'm looking for, is that actually, there's like channels on there in terms of like tips of what to do with WordPress websites, Excel formulas. Some of the stuff that I might quote or might mention to you is from stuff that I've seen on TikTok, and I'll then deep dive. So I might have got the idea. So when I learned about how OpenAI was, and the investment by Microsoft and the integration in Teams, I saw a short video about that. Then I did further research, and that led to a whole podcast. So it is information education as a platform. It really depends on you as a user in terms of what content you're watching and what you're searching for, really. But people are putting their business content out there in a very, very educational, fun way now. They're not just doing it, here's what to do with so-and-so, which you can get on YouTube anyway. But they're using video content to explain their product and service in a better way, to make fun of challenges they have as a business or what you might experience. I still say the best one I've seen is how people make fun of Google in terms of when people go to page 2 and it's a scene from Thor, the second Thor film, and it's Loki who says, "Oh, you must be extremely desperate to come to me for help. And it's someone that was like, it was a view of someone going through Google and looking at the search results and didn't find anything on the first page. And then they thought about it. And then they clicked on next page on Google, which is very rare. And then it clipped to Loki's video saying, "Oh, you must be truly desperate to come to me for help," which I thought was really funny. But that's how businesses can be, very, very creative, or companies can be very creative with their content. And again, remember, it's all about brand. It's building your brand affinity, your work culture, etc. Stuff from that. So, TikTok has really, really grown this year. Everyone's living it and everyone's showing it. And yeah, give myself another top tick for that one. Voice search. This one is the last trend. So we're going to quickly summarize. A lot more smart devices available. Now we've got obviously, Apple Watches to Alexas at home to Google devices. So many devices were given out free as part of competitions. Spotify gave out a lot of devices. Amazon did a huge big deal on their Amazon deal day for their Amazon Alexa devices and stuff. The market for that kind of product is growing, and us as marketers, as SEO marketers, have to really start considering voice search. We've been optimizing some things this year for voice search for our clients anyway, and we're calling it position 0. So you got position 1, then you got position 0, and that's what voice search will really come into play. And more searches will be done by voice command, saying, "Hey Google, ask me this," or "Hey Alexa, do this," or "Hey Siri, no, stop Siri." So you see, I was scared of saying that one, because I knew my phone would go off. But there you go. Everything's, and we all feel like we're being listened to as well, don't we? When we're on WhatsApp and stuff, and everyone's talking about that. But even I think Alexa and Amazon were caught out listening to people this year, and there was a court case about it, and they admitted, "Yeah, we've been listening to you," or they've been manipulating the data a little bit more than they should have. So voice search, I think that'll be another one next year that's really going to come to forefront. I might have been a bit too soon with that one. I know a lot of people and some niche agencies are really doing some amazing things with it, but I think it's like, are the masses ready for voice search and optimizing SEO voice search? The big companies with the big budgets, I guarantee you, are already doing it. So they're already making a forefront of that. And it will potentially lead to it make it difficult for smaller local businesses, but the more you engage and interact with your SEO content for voice search, the better it will be, especially for e-commerce and you want people to buy your products as well. So a lot more to come next year for that one. So they're my 8 digital trends. That's my analysis. I'm going to give myself 6 out of 8. I think that's fair. 6 out of 8. I think we should do this every year where I analyze myself in terms of trends. I think I've been on the money with some things. I think I've been a bit too early with some other things. And other things I knew would take the forefront this year, like TikTok has come through. So, yeah, what do we think, Callum? Do you agree with my 6 out of 8?
I'm going to allow it. Yes.
Who's going to allow it?
It's there's that fine line.
Line. What are we saying? 5.5?
Thereabouts.
5.5. Josh?
Yeah, I think you're all right there.
5.5, 6. Well, let us know. Put it in the YouTube comments. Do you think I nailed it this year? Do you not? Remember, they are just trends and predictions based on what we see throughout the year before. So my trends for next year, which will come out in January in a couple of months' time, I always do the trends at the end of January, so it launches at the beginning of February, because I like to see what people are talking about against what I have, and then really take it from there. So thanks for listening. Now you know what my trends were at the start of the year. Now you can see why it was important to talk about trends. If you have any questions, you feel like there's something else we should be talking about, give us a shout. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next podcast shortly. Thank you very much.